Hi, Jack Canfield here. Welcome back to another segment of Talking About Success. With me in this segment is John Fenton, an extraordinary executive coach and expert in self-mastery and mindfulness. John helps CEOs, executives, and business leaders become better leaders, challenging them to think differently, make better decisions, and take bold action. And he helps CEOs to be their best self and master the inner game to win the outer game. So you're an executive coach.
Yes.
And an expert in self-mastery, which I want to talk about. I think we all need to master ourselves. But how did you get into that?
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate that. I was the managing partner of a Atlanta office of an international CPA firm, and we were just transforming the business. And I just felt the anxiety and the angst of my team. We were working really hard, taking on new clients, growing, dramatically. And I had this idea, I need to find some yoga or something. I just kind of felt it in my body. And I happened to be walking past a yoga center, and so I went in. And in there was this young gentleman, a Korean gentleman, all dressed in black, not my idea of yoga.
Expecting a 6-foot-tall blonde with a ponytail, very loose.
Right, that's right, nice, attractive clothing. And so we started talking, and I met with him. We were sitting in the center, and I looked up on the wall, and there was this big banner on the wall, and it said, Tai Chi, the way of limitless energy, find your center. And it really struck a chord with me. It really just touched me so much. And so I went online and did some research and saw the different movements and things. And I said, that's what I want to do. They had a sword demonstration. I love that whole thing about the sword and everything. So I started practicing one-on-one with this master for over a year, one-on-one. Once a week we would meet in the morning. And I went through this 12 levels of this Tai Chi form that we were studying, and I became a black belt in Tai Chi. And what it did for me was that I was still the same person, but I was showing up differently as a leader. I was showing up more focused and more centered and more grounded. The things that used to affect me didn't affect me as much anymore emotionally. The stress wasn't really affecting me the same way. And back then I used to have a mustache, and I kind of shaved my mustache, and so people would tell me kind of behind the scenes, there's John before the mustache and John after the mustache. And so I really just transformed my leadership style. It helped me to be a better leader. And we doubled our practice, and we were one of the best performing offices in the firm. And it really helped me to set me on the way of being a great leader. And along the way, I did lots of research, and I went to the foothills of the Colorado Rockies in the snow and practiced Tai Chi. I went to Sedona and meditated for week-long meditations and that sort of thing, and practicing Tai Chi and meditation. And it just really, really struck me as something I could share with other people. Mm-hmm. And so I decided to retire from that world, from that environment, from that business, and really help executives and CEOs find their center.
Oh, that's great. So why is in executive coaching, mindfulness, why is that so important in business?
Yeah, well, it's such a complex world anymore, Jack. I mean, we see it in all parts of our society, particularly in business. It's like we don't really know, sometimes we don't know as CEOs where to turn next. Every decision is critical. We have lots of employees that work with us, people that are counting on us, our families are counting on us. So being able to work together with a CEO to help center and focus our mind, focus ourselves into our body really gives us more clarity, making decisions from our gut and not from our head.
So give me an example of a success story of working with the CEO and helping him in this way.
Absolutely. So actually it was a woman CEO, and she had a lot of things on her plate. She had multiple projects going on. She was really frustrated, and she was also just feeling overwhelmed. And so we sat down together, we talked together, and we worked on a few techniques that I could help her focus herself through some breathing and some Tai Chi movements to help her really gain her focus. Mm-hmm. And then start going through the process of figuring out, okay, what can we knock off, what can we pick off, kind of chunk it down, and let's work together to help kind of remove some things, take some things off the plate, and help you to get over that frustration and that feeling of being overwhelmed.
Mm-hmm. So all these people are watching. What advice would you give someone, based on everything you know and all this work you're doing, what advice would you have for someone watching?
Sure. So you find a good coach.
Find a good coach.
Also, you can be part of a mastermind group that can help you as well. Get a group of CEOs together to help you with your business issues. And find a good coach, find someone like myself that can help you with some mindfulness techniques. So some very basic things you can do in just a few minutes a day to help you regain your focus in your center, to help you be the leader you want to be and really be your best self.
Mm-hmm. Now, mindfulness is a huge term these days. It's everywhere. All of a sudden, it's in the culture. Misconceptions about mindfulness in business?
Sure. Well, I think a lot of times people think, well, I can't take time away from my business. I can't possibly spend it's going to take me hours to do meditation or whatever it might be, or Tai Chi or whatever. But you can do something for yourself in just 5 or 10 minutes a day that can really ground you, really focus you. Mindfulness is about totally being in the present moment.
Yes.
Totally in the present moment. And so bringing your mind into your body. I remember in one of my trainings, the master was with me and we were doing a training together. And he said to me, "Where are you?" And I said, "I'm here." He said, "No, you're not." So my body was physically there, but my mind was somewhere else.
Yes. Most of us spend most of the time not here.
That's right.
And all there is here.
That's
and we're
right,
not
exactly.
there. Exactly. Very good. So a lot of people think about things like mindfulness and meditation as kind of woo-woo. Mm-hmm. Now, you're not a woo-woo guy.
I am not a woo-woo guy.
You were a college football player. You worked with Jim Kelly, was it?
That's right.
And you were a center that learned how to get really centered later in life.
That's right.
I love it. So I think that a lot of people have this misconception that this is all weird stuff. And yet I know in my life, and I know in your life and all the people you work with, that the more I've gotten into meditation, presencing myself, living in the present, realizing it's only in the present that anything can ever happen. And then you're working with energy, with the Tai Chi. It's so valuable, so valuable. So I want you to look into this camera over here.
Okay.
I want you to talk to my viewer and just say why this is so important. You need to do this because.
You need to do this because you want to be the best self you can be, center your mind into your body, and lead well.
Very good. And we all want that. And
I think so, yeah.
And I think not only do you end up being more successful, more effective, you're happier.
Absolutely.
You're happier than you used to be.
Well, I'm living my best self every moment.
I know. I can see it on your face. You're a good guy. Well, I wish we had more time. You're a fascinating guy.
Thank you so much.
We share a lot of common things, so thank you for
Jack.
being my guest. Go to his website. There's no reason not to be living a effective, happy, fulfilling, meaningful life in business and in home, and have a balanced life for yourself. That's something that everyone aspires to, but very few people actually take the time to do. So if you're watching this and you're not saying, "I'm going to go contact him and find out what I can learn from him," you've just wasted the last 10 minutes. Don't do that to yourself. So stick around. We'll be right back.